So guys, how are you?
Good, thanks. Good.
Very good. Great to be in Amsterdam.
Good to have you. So before we get into the album, I'd like to jump back a little bit to the beginning. And then you guys have known each other for quite a while. When did it become something more than just playing some music with your friend?
We headlined a show, our first ever headline show, and a lot of people came. And then at that point it felt different to other shows that we'd done. Do you think? I reckon that show at the Grace Darling.
Yeah, we'd played for a number of years actually. Fran and myself and Joe, the other guitarist in the band, played together in various kind of different formats, just in little casual bands, and none of them really did anything for for 10 years or something. We've just, I don't know, different versions of a similar kind of guitar pop band, but this one about 5 years ago we made a new lineup, and the three of us again, and brought in my brother on bass and a housemate of Fran's, Marcel, on the drums. And yeah, all our bands were always pretty casual, but when we got that lineup together, 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed to click immediately. And when we started playing shows, like a lot of our older bands when we were teenagers and stuff, some of the music could have been questionable, but in this one, our friends, I think you were saying the other day, friends were like, "Oh, this is actually really good." Surprised.
Like our friends still came to those earlier shows when we were playing, a support on a Tuesday night, and they would be supportive, but you could notice a difference later. They were like, "Oh, that was actually good."
Yeah.
But you mentioned kind of how the band came together. It was a very close knit. I mean, your brother joined, your housemate joined. So what made this lineup different than all the ones before? What made it click?
Yeah, I think sometimes you just get the right chemistry between the right people, and we for a long time, Tom and I and my cousin Joe, who plays guitar in our band, have had a good chemistry. We've been writing together for years and years. In the earlier bands Tom was talking about, I played drums and he played bass and Tom played guitar. We were a three-piece band. We always sort of had a bit of an idea, although some of the songs, as Tom said, weren't so good. We were still chipping away at this broader sort of idea of country punk songs with hooks, and we slowly got better and better at writing those songs together. But then when we expanded it so that we had three guitars, all of us playing guitar, and then a drummer and a bassist, I suppose it quite easily couldn't have been very good, but Marcel is such a good drummer, and his background is in Afrobeat and funk music, and Joe Russo, the bassist, he's a very good guitarist, and he's just got really nice licks and chops, and licks and chops.
Used to the lingo there.
Cool, right? But and he also likes a lot of disco music. Like 70s, like that sort of Philadelphia. Is it like Philadelphia?
I don't know where.
Philly soul? Yeah, that sort of.
Lots of disco. Groove, music with groove.
Yeah, music with groove, basically.
He's got I think one of the big differences is that rhythm section. Is just Joe's such a good bassist. Even though this is his first time playing bass, I just recruited him because he's actually a really good guitarist, and I'm just like, we need a bass player. I'm just looking around, it's like, there's my brother. It's like, do you want to play bass? It's like, sure. And he ended up being really good at it. And Marcel is a really good drummer. And in this band, we kind of keep him on a tight leash. He, he can do a lot more, but we sort of keep him doing really simple stuff. And I think those two together, that's for the first time we had a kind of driving rhythm section, which always comes off well live, and that was one of the big changes. So I guess that's one of the moments when it clicked, and we were always writing melodic songs, kind of pop songs with guitars and hooks that were also a little bit skewed, a little bit weird, but I think that was one big difference.
And you mentioned then the three guitars because you have that rhythm section, and so that opens up the three guitars, and that the way of layering those guitars, did that come out automatically, or did you really have to work at it?
I think it sort of came instinctively that we knew that we wanted to have nice nice melodies that you want to sort of keep listening to. Some of the earlier songs, like just before this band, when we had that other band, there was that song Minor Devastation that was just sort of, it had like this melody as like the blueprint of the song, and then letting things sort of just spiral off in other directions, having this like melody is at the center. So we sort of had that sort of idea in mind of, you know, like there's some disciplined parts and some, you know, like parts that are important, intrinsic to the song, and then there are other parts that will just fly off in other directions. And that's always just sort of been just sort of intuitive. So, you know, Tom will play a lead and maybe Joe will double up on that lead, and then they'll go their separate ways. And yeah, we're just sort of, it's just something that that we just know instinctively, I guess, now.
In that sense, does the songwriting occur out of jams in a way, or is it kind of set up and okay, you're going to play this, you're going to play this?
Yeah, it mainly comes out of jams. Okay. Yeah, we've written songs, like pretty much the complete song, and brought it to the band before, but we don't so much go for that. So it's not as good, because it's nice to just leave the magic, and just wait for something magic to happen when you get in a room together, and just play on something for, you know, half an hour, and put your iPhone down, and then, you know, record, and then listen back and say that was really good. And
yeah, often someone will just bring an idea, like a skeleton. Now we try not to overwrite the songs. Like you might have an idea, so one of us brings an idea, and then we kind of put it through the band machine, and it ends up just let the song kind of go where it seems like it should go.
Can you take me to one of those sessions, maybe even in the early days, where you just sit around and kind of form something? What were those days like?
Yeah, one of them, I think one of the songs that really changed things was this song that we had called Waking Up Dirt River, which we just put on a demo, but it had previously been like a pretty simple sort of a 3-minute song. But then Joe Russo and Marcel found this groove and this sort of bass line that we just stayed on, and we were just jamming it in my bedroom. And it was just sort of what we call like a waterfall jam. You know those pictures, like an illustration of an impossible waterfall that shouldn't keep moving but somehow it does. Right. We've found one of those jams that we just didn't want to stop playing, and that was, you know, one of those moments.
In that sense, because the way we talk about it, then I mean, there is some. I did get some sense of that when I was listening to the record. But is there a sort of a hypnotic quality almost when you're playing, and especially when you play live?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can tell it's good when you get into that space when you're not thinking about it anymore. And yeah, a lot of the songs we do kind of let it breathe, and you know, get to that point where you're like locked in. I don't know, it's really fun personally for me to play live, and yeah, that's you know, you can tell it's good. It's one of those those kind of waterfall moments where you can just keep playing on. And often we do, like Fran was saying, in the practice room or whatever, we'll kind of try and subscribe to the kind of krautrock thing of like playing one thing for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And after, sometimes it doesn't click in until, you know, 10 minutes in, and then you're like, okay, that's the good part. Like, that's the kind of thing you aim for, I think.
And then, well, you start with this band. It's going well. Your friends like it, which is a good thing. Where does the ambition come in? Where does the idea of, or the notion of we're gonna put this out there and see what we can?
I think it's just a natural instinct to do that, you know, to put something out. And then if people come to your shows, it's just sort of, you just continue that natural instinct of just, okay, we'll do another show and we'll put something else out. And there's no real grand plan to get anywhere in particular. Okay. It's just sort of, you just think, okay, we made this little band out of nothing. Let's see how far it can go, you know, just to see where it goes.
And now you're in Amsterdam, so.
Yeah, that's right.